Zero is the deuteragonist of the Mega Man X series, though considering how much focus he gets in some of the games, it might be easy to mistake him for the protagonist. The final creation of Dr. Albert Wily, the main antagonist of the original Mega Man series, Zero had a critical programming error that made him incredibly violent, and as a result, Wily sealed him away alongside another pet project, a mysterious computer virus. Zero would be discovered and awakened decades later, coming into conflict with the then firmly righteous leader of the Maverick Hunters, Sigma. A fight would ensue between Sigma and the bloodlusted Zero, and while Sigma would ultimately win the fight, the courses of both characters' lives would be changed forever. Zero reawakened with no memories of his violent past and became a top Maverick Hunter, while Sigma unknowingly became infected with the aforementioned virus, kicking off the events of the Mega Man X series. In his playable appearances in the X series, Zero favors close combat options and abilities using his Z-Saber over his Buster, though he does put that into use when necessary, and that translates to his playstyle in the Versus games as well. I should note that for the purposes of this series, that I'm defining the mainline Capcom Versus series as Capcom crossover fighters either developed or at least co-developed by Capcom, meaning games like Capcom vs SNK Millennium Fight 2000 count, as the game was developed by Capcom, with the SNK characters licensed out to them for use in the game. Whereas SNK vs Capcom SVC Chaos wouldn't, as it's the reverse. It's an SNK developed game with Capcom licensing out their characters. I tend to consider the SNK developed and published Versus games as spin-offs of a sort. I bring this up primarily due to the aforementioned SVC Chaos. Zero's a playable character in that game, though interestingly enough, he's in his Mega Man Zero incarnation. He's also hilariously broken in that game, but that's a topic for a different video. As it stands, Zero's official debut in the Versus games proper was as one of the 5 characters added to the localized worldwide release of Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, Ultimate All-Stars on the Wii. According to the game's producer Ryota Nitsuma, Zero was picked for the roster specifically for its popularity in the Western market. Then Mega Man series director and co-creator Keiji Inafune sat in on the meeting where the additional characters for the game were decided upon, and according to Nitsuma, at the end of said meeting, Inafune pulled him aside and advised that if they're going to go with Zero, they should choose the original Mega Man X incarnation to maximize player interest. A gamble that seemingly paid off, as Capcom stated satisfaction with the game's sales, and anecdotally, I know quite a few people that bought the game solely on the back of Zero being in it. All that said, let's take a look at his Tatsunoko vs. Capcom incarnation. And we'll start things off the way most things do, an introduction. Zero teleports onto the scene in a bolt of red. This is a pretty obvious recreation of his animation when starting a level in the Mega Man X games. Zero was voiced by Ryotaro Okiayu here, who's voiced Zero since Mega Man X4. Zero's a rushdown oriented character focused on getting in, dishing out extensive combos and building meter with said combos to have enough meter to fall back on for a pocket Mega Crash. His offensive capabilities are offset by the fact that he has one of the smallest HP pools in the game, tying with Roll in those regards and only besting Karis. Zero's light, medium, and heavy string is a recreation of his standard 3-hit combo from the Mega Man X games, with the heavy attack dealing multiple hits. Zero's Hadengeki is a projectile move he originally earned by defeating Vanishing Gungaroo in Mega Man X7. This is a charge move for Zero, interestingly enough. Though it's from X7, Zero's had a similar looking attack in previous X games in certain boss fights. Here, it looks most like the projectile seen in his boss fight from Mega Man X5. Hyper Zero Blaster is interesting. By holding any attack button, Zero can charge his Buster up to 3 levels and then fire it off. Zero doesn't get to use his Buster in every X game, but its implementation here is most similar to Mega Man X3, the first game Zero was ever playable in. Ryunjin is a flaming anti-air, not unlike Ken's flaming Shoryuken. Zero obtained this move by defeating Magma Dragoon in Mega Man X4. Unlike later Versus games, Zero could actually use this in the air to end combos. Hien Kyaku is a command dash. Zero can do a short or far ground command dash as well as one that has him arc upwards before coming back down. It hails from Mega Man X4, where it was an air dash that can be used after beating Jet Stingray. Zero's jumping heavy is more or less his Kuenzan from Mega Man X4. He got it there from beating Split Mushroom. He also has an alternate version of this performed with down and heavy. Forward and heavy is Shapuga. Like the last two attacks, this one is also from Mega Man X4. Be aware that unless you use Baroque or use an assist to extend the combo, you can't actually combo this into his launcher. Since Suizan is a dive move attack Zero originally obtained from Ground Skyravik in Mega Man X6. The light version is a fake out move, while the medium and heavy variations come out at different angles. Next up are Zero's hyper combos. Zero's first hyper combo is Rekoha. He punches the ground and shortly after, columns of rainbow lights rain down. This one Zero got from Infinity Maginian in X6. It's very slow here though, and it's best used in dual hyper combos. Next up is Sogenmu, or Twin Dream as it was originally localized in Mega Man X5. This one creates a clone of Zero that mimics any special attack Zero uses for a limited amount of time. He got this one from Spike Rose Red, or Axel the Red as he used to be known by in Mega Man X5. Zero's level 3 is Dark Hold. This was a time-stopping ability Zero could obtain from Dark Necrobat, or Dark Dizzy for you fans of the OG localization in Mega Man X5. Here, Zero uses it to stop time, before powering up his Z-Saber and running his opponent through. Note that Zero's powered up saber here seems to be a nod towards the saber he uses in the Mega Man Zero series. When Zero is defeated in battle, like Mega Man, Roll, and Strider in past games, he blows up the same way he does in his Source series. And when he wins a fight, he turns his back to the player and teleports out, just like in the X games. Zero's assist in this game is Ryunjin. Tatsunoko vs. Capcom doesn't have much in the way of intro dialogue outside of some very specific circumstances, but it makes up for that with every character in the game having a piece of unique victory dialogue for every single character on the roster. Here are all of Zero's win quotes. And here are Zero's colors. And here's Zero's ending, featuring a neat bit of fan service towards his origins. Zero's next appearance in the series would be in 2011's Marvel vs. Capcom 3, as well as its expansion, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Zero is one of two characters representing a Mega Man series in the game, the other being Tron Bonne repping Mega Man Legends and her own spin-off game. Now that Marvel vs. Capcom 3 has character themes, Zero gets one of his own. His theme is, interestingly, an extended arrangement of his boss theme from Mega Man X2. Here's the original. And here's the Marvel 3 remix. Ryotaro Okiayu reprises his role as Zero's Japanese voice actor, but he also gets a new English voice actor as well, Johnny Young Bosch. Saying you've probably heard of him is likely putting it a bit lightly. Zero's moveset in this game uses his Tatsunoko vs. Capcom moveset as a base, and builds from there, though there are some changes sprinkled here and there. Hadengeki is now done with a quarter circle forward fireball motion as opposed to a charge motion. Shipuga can now be linked into Zero's launcher. And Rekoha is much faster, making it a solid way to finish off combos and a much more reliable hyper combo in general. Zero also gets a new move, Raikuzen. This one comes from Mega Man X8 and the direction Zero goes in is dictated by the strength of the attack button used. Zero also gets a new level 3, Genmu Zero. This is taken from the final boss fight against his awakened form in the bad ending path of Mega Man X5. If the fight continues for over 2 minutes, Awakened Zero starts spamming this move over and over, and it's an instant kill. While it's not quite as overpowered here, it does a fair amount of damage and comes out reasonably fast. Note that Zero also gets a red aura around him as he performs the move. It's a neat little nod to that Awakened form from X5. Zero's assists are as follows. Zero has a really interesting set of colors. In the original vanilla release of Marvel 3, Zero has a color that didn't make it over to Ultimate. A blue color scheme obviously meant to evoke Mega Man X. It got replaced for a very good reason though. Here's his first color. Here's his second color, inspired by bass from the classic Mega Man series. Here's his third color, inspired by Axel from Mega Man X7, Command Mission, and X8. His fourth color uses the color scheme from Zero's redesign in his self-titled sub-series, Mega Man Zero. His fifth color, exclusive to Ultimate, uses the color scheme of Vile from the first Mega Man X game. His sixth color is based on X's first armor from the first Mega Man X game. X would of course get this armor as an install super later down the line in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, which you can see in this video linked above. Zero's alternate color scheme is X himself. Given that X has canonically used the Z-Saber in at least 1 or 2 games in the series, depending on how you interpret the events of Mega Man X3, this outfit actually works absurdly well. Here's all of Zero's special dialogue in the game.
Stop lecturing and show me what you got.
Your name's Zero? Hope you don't fight like one.
It's do or die. Civilian, what are you doing here? It's do or die. Found a map. I'll take care of it.
Unidentified object found. Entering combat mode.
Get ready to brawl. Another soulless cop. Another soulless cop. Ready? I don't listen to lectures from losers. You may have covered wars, but you're still a civilian. Target destroyed.
And here's Zero's ending. Zero comes back for one last rodeo in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite alongside X, allowing you to use the two as a tag team for the first and only time in the series. Johnny Young Bosch reprises his role here for Zero's English voice. Because of all of the changes to the button layouts in Infinite, a lot of Zero's attacks have had their inputs slightly adjusted. But on top of that, Zero gets a whole host of new command normals, special moves, and even a new hyper combo. Someone up high in Capcom's fighting game division must really love this guy. Zero's character theme here is once again a remix of his Mega Man X2 boss theme. That same person I mentioned up high on the Capcom food chain is probably a huge Mega Man X2 fan too. Zero has 4 new command normals now, though half of them are really just a previous normal being reassigned due to Infinite's new button setup. The first is Yodan Totsu, which was previously Zero's standing medium in Tatsunoko in Marvel 3. You can still use it to do Zero's trademark 3-hit combo now, it's just a little more awkward. Next up is Risho Kyaku, a new flip kick initiated with forward and heavy kick. Then there's Koketsuga. Like his forward heavy punch command normal, this one was previously assigned to a different combination in previous games, being his crouching heavy sweep attack. Last, there's Rasen Kyaku, which is done with forward and heavy kick in the air. Do note that this can actually combo into Zero's jumping heavy kick. Zero's alternate Kuenzan is still in as his down and heavy punch in the air, but Zero actually shouts the name of the move out now if it's done this way.
Kuenzan!
Most of Zero's special moves return, but now have slightly different button assignments. Hadengeki, for example, is now quarter circle forward in any punch. Raiko-sen is now made slightly easier by being made a quarter circle forward and punch motion in the air, as opposed to being a dragon punch motion. This also makes it a lot easier for the move to be Tiger Kneed. Ryunjin has the most drastic input change, going from a dragon punch motion to being a down-down punch motion. Suizan is a quarter circled forward in any kick motion. Zero has also lost the light punch fake-out variant he had in previous games as well. By far the most interesting thing about Zero in this game is Hyper Zero Blaster. It functions the same as before, though any attack button can now be used for charging it, making it a bit easier to manage holding a charge during combos. And that's necessary, as Zero has not 1, not 2, but 4 new moves that come from this. Essentially, if you cancel any of Zero's special moves into a fully charged Buster, he'll do an entirely new move. Canceling Ryunjin into Buster has Zero follow-up with Hyoretsuzan. This one comes from Mega Man X4 and was earned from Forest Walrus. Canceling Hadengeki into Buster has Zero follow-up with Rakuhoha, not to be confused with Rekoha. This also comes from Mega Man X4 and was obtained from Cyber Peacock. Canceling Rakusen in the Buster has Zero do Sea Sword, which he got from Crescent Grizzly or Grizzly Slash depending on your naming preference in Mega Man X5. And canceling Suizan in the Buster sees Zero utilize F Splasher, which he obtained from Tado Maokin or Duff McWhalen in Mega Man X5. X5's localized Maverick names get a bad rap, and probably deservedly so, But if there's one name I will defend to my dying breath, it's Duff McWhalen. It's it's so silly it legitimately wraps around to being awesome. So Genmu's input has been changed to down down in both kicks. Genmu 0 is now quarter circle back in both punches as opposed to being a dragon punch. On top of all of that though, Zero has an entirely new hyper combo, Rajinsho, done by inputting down, down in both punches. Zero got this one from Tornado Tunyon in Mega Man X7. I had to re-subject myself to the horrors of X7 to get this footage, so, you know, you're welcome. Zero's selectable colors are changed up from Marvel 3, but still pretty interesting and harken back to older games. His second color is based off his unlockable black color scheme from Mega Man X4, X5, X6, and X8. His third color is a Mega Man-esque blue scheme. It's vaguely reminiscent of his X form from Mega Man 0 too. His fourth color is based on the Zero Nightmare from Mega Man X6. Nightmare Zero was an optional boss there, and beating him actually unlocked Zero in that game. Zero's alternate DLC costume is a new design done in the style of X's True Force design. There was never any Zero figure released for that line, so this game is its only appearance in anything really. Here's all the selectable colors. And here are all of Zero's special intros and win quotes.
Demon? Is this a sensor malfunction? Rivals Able City. Maybe even surpasses it. Oh, Universe, I'm depending on you. You're not my first choice, but we can't abandon the mission. X, they're Mavericks. You know what to do. Why are you using such a primitive image device? X! Does it have to be this way? An extraterrestrial creature? This world is full of surprises. I never expected that I would fight a real human. All I know is this. One of us is going down. There's always someone like you in any world. Found a Maverick. I'll take care of it. I'll send you to hell again and again, Sigma!
Those who control the stones control the universe.
Transform all you want. The end result will be the same.
Do you think you can defeat us?
I think it's fair to say that Zero's definitely become a fan favorite Versus series character, both among fans and developers. Zero's always ended up among the best characters in every Versus game he's ever been in, and even in games outside of it like SVC Chaos and Onimusha Blade Warriors, he's been ridiculously good. For as popular as Zero's been in general, it's kind of funny he didn't show up in the series sooner. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 released at the arguable height of the X series' popularity in the US, and that would have been a perfect time to include him. Still though, I think he represents his home series exceedingly well, and the Versus games would be a bit less interesting without him. With Zero done, I think I'll do a few smaller videos with characters that have had shorter stints in the series before tackling another long-time series mainstay. After doing the Joe video, I've been on something of a Resident Evil kick, and the series is still fresh in my mind, so I think I'll probably do another character from that series. As for who, well, stars. I think you get the point. So as always, take care, stay safe, and I will see you next time.